Not the Experts is here. I'm back. Titus, your host Titus, man. I got a special guest. He invited me on his podcast during the Super Bowl, man. It's a black and white thing. My guy, A1, a good friend of mine.
What's
What's
up?
up, man?
Salute, salute, salute. What's going on with you, man?
Not much, man. We got a big week. Y'all don't know, A1 is a 49ers fan. I'm an Eagles fan. The fate of the NFC is on the line Sunday. Everything is at stake. everything is at stake.
For the Niners. For the
Yeah.
Niners, I think everything is at stake.
Yeah, a matchup that became a rivalry in like 5 months. It's gotten very dark. It's gotten very dark between the two of us. Between two of these teams.
Man. It's gonna be like I'll say this. I know Eagles fans have a reputation. When you go to their stadium, it is not in your best interest to wear opposing team colors. And I would suggest for any Niners fans who are going to the link on Sunday, you might want to keep that fandom close, to keep it in your heart.
Yeah.
Don't display it proudly. Because I just, like you said, things have gotten pretty crazy pretty quickly. And it's not from the opening kickoff, like it's gonna be war in them stands too if you got on Niners colors. So
yeah.
you know.
And think about Niners fans is I've seen the videos. Niners fans, they ain't going for much nonsense either. It can get real weird.
Yeah. Listen. So, I went to last year for my birthday. We went to San Francisco, my first time. Went out there when the Chiefs played the Niners. And it was a pretty cool experience. Except for like at a certain point, like third or fourth quarter, the game is now out of hand. The Chiefs are going to win comfortably. And there's a lot of Chiefs fans, in the building that day, especially in the section I was in. So you got a little bit of back and forth between the fans, going back and forth, that cussing each other out, close to a fight. And my son looks at me, he goes, "Dad, this doesn't happen in Kansas City." And I'm like, well, this is partially true because there's more Chiefs fans around us than other fans. But I'm like, but you keep on living, right? That's what our parents used to tell us and our grandparents. Keep on living, son. You keep going to games, you'll find out pretty soon the Arrowhead can turn up too. You just ain't seen it in your 9 years at that time of existence. You just have not experienced it quite yet.
Right. Yeah, it's real. So overall, man, what are your thoughts on the season so far? For y'all?
I'm happy with where they are. They're leading the division, they're second in the conference. Would I have loved for them to be able to go into this game with only 2 losses or maybe 1 loss, that 3-game stretch where, they lose to the Vikings, the Browns, and I'm blanking on who the third loss was to. Cincy, yeah, that was the third of the 3. Brock Purdy, it was funny. The game, when they played the Cowboys, I went, this was the first time, because I'm a pessimist. I'm a sports pessimist, so I'm always expecting the worst, right?
Right.
And so I went into that game going, you know what? This is the first time I thought that maybe this guy could be a franchise quarterback, because to that point I thought he's a good quarterback. Like the Shanahan system, if you work it like it's supposed to be worked, you'll be great. And then adversity hit, and then the entire world was like, "Steve, we told you he was trash." And I'm just like, well, he's not as bad as you're making him out to be. He's not as good as everybody wants him to be, but he's been consistently good. And that's what this offense and what this team needs. It would be great to have Patrick Mahomes, even Jalen Hurts. But if you can simply operate the system, you'll be fine. The defense had its hiccups. Steve Wilkes came from the booth down to the field, and the defense seems to be firing. I'm pretty sure getting Chase Young helps in that regard. But yeah, man, like I feel really good about this team's chances. Philly, the Cowboys, the Lions, they're all going to be tough outs. To me, I expect that to be in some shape or form the divisional round. Those 4 teams, because I feel like the NFC, you have those 4 teams who are head and shoulders above everybody else. And then there's like this second tier of maybe if the circumstances are right, they can beat you. So I feel good. How about you? How you feel about your team going into this game, man?
Just once this season, I would like a stress-free week. Just one time. Like I have not had a peaceful, like, oh, cool, game's over, third quarter, we chilling, we up, we good. I've not had that this year. It's been a lot. It's been a confusing year for me because I'm pretty real. Like I talk on, I get crazy a couple times on the internet, but it's mainly during Cowboys week. And anytime I get to like upset Cowboys fans, I'm taking the opportunity immediately. That's just what I live for. So
you be going crazy on Cowboys week.
Yeah, Cowboys week. But after the way that game went, I said, I'm not doing that this time. Nah, y'all, nope. It was too close. That was too close to the edge for me. But I just think this team obviously is not as dominant as last year. But last year was kind of you just don't get those kind of years in the NFL. It's just not normal to get those kind of years for an entire season. So I understand that not being a factor, but I am concerned with the play calling in a lot of ways. It seems like this team is getting by off mentality, which is good. You got a mentality of we not gonna fold no matter what. Because let me tell you something, A1. If a few years ago, before the Jalen Hurts Sirianni era, a 17-7 lead at halftime, we can pack it in. We're going home. We're done for the day. You know, a bad interceptions come in, a fumble, you know, and then I'm not blaming Carson Wentz. It was a dark time. So I just know like what would have happened back then. So like seeing this team just have no fold in them at all is very encouraging. I think that's a big part of playoff football anyway. But, you know, realistically, I've been saying this since the early part of the season when, like, because I was debating with some of my Eagles friends, like, they're like, oh, we're winning games. Like, that's cool. But y'all know what the schedule is after, like, week 6, right? Y'all know what they're about to do to us. Like, I don't want to, we can't go into these games like this. Like, we just can't. And we've been getting away with it still. But it's still, like, it feels like the level we need to get to still that we're not at yet. And I don't know how long it can run. I'm going to say, as long as we get it done, cool. I'll be stressed out. God ain't stressing me out this much for no reason. He not putting me through this for nothing. All right, this got to lead to something. This got to lead to something.
Man, so I'm gonna tell you though, like Nick Sirianni, like, so I don't dislike. In sports, I dislike very few teams or people. Yeah. Right? For fun, for sport, I hate Russell Wilson. I don't really hate Russell Wilson.
Right.
And to be honest, it's become such high fashion to hate on Russell Wilson that I can't even really do it. It felt like I was a Drake fan before Drake blew up. And then when like the best I ever had came out and everybody's like, oh my God, he's the greatest ever. And I'm like, that's not even the best song on the mixtape, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is with me and Russell Wilson. But anyway, I digress. But I feel like Sirianni is building up a level of the Eli Apple of coaches, if you will. He's creating a track record where like all of his antics, it has to pay off in a Super Bowl win, because if it doesn't,
yes.
And I said I started this whole diatribe to say like I hate Villanova basketball with a passion. Now I hate the Seattle Seahawks with all of my heart, the USC Trojans, and the Michigan Wolverines because I'm a Notre Dame fan. But Nick Sirianni he's rising up the Kofi list. I mean, he is skyrocketing up the Kofi list right now. And like his actions at the end, walking out of Arrowhead, you know, hi, can you hear me? Can you hear that? Shut up, bro. Like, you're a coach. Like, that's group chat behavior. That is online troll behavior. This is not becoming of an NFL head coach. And that's what he reminds me of. He's like that one annoying cowboy friend who, no matter how bad they get smacked, no matter how many losses they pile up, who is all at the second of misfortune that shows up for the Eagles, is in your mentions. I'm like, that's what Sirianni reminds me of. And like, if they don't win this, there is a I forget the name of the move when Goku summons the huge glowing ball.
The spirit bomb.
There's a spirit bomb of slander. That is prepared to come Sirianni's way if they don't pay this off with a championship, because he's just stacking it up. He's stacking it up, and you know, so yeah.
It's funny because in the press conferences he's normal, but like all the answers are on field stuff. On the field, he's a psycho. He's a total psycho. And you know, we embrace that about him.
Like, I'm pretty sure y'all love it. Yeah, listen, as long as y'all
I've had that thought. I've had a thought when this goes bad. If this goes bad at any point, boy, it's gonna be ugly.
It's gonna get nasty for them, for him and for y'all.
Yeah, because I really do think his mentality and Hurts' mentality just mesh perfectly. Like Hurts kind of the low key but super confident guy. Sirianni's the arrogant kind of cocky guy, but it manifests itself in this team that always believes we're gonna win this game no matter what. We know what we're doing. We're gonna win this game no matter what. Which I think is super important. I think that's like having this guy that kind of culture around. It's like, okay, the culture is there, and that's good. The culture of winning is here. We went and got all the SEC players who all they did was win in college. So that was awesome. You know, they brought it with them. Like, oh, y'all like to win. We like winning too. It was great. You know, they brought that with them. So it's a good balance. But yeah, I have definitely thought like when this goes left, it's going to be funny. But I defend him against Kansas City because, listen, Andy Reid had never lost in Philly to Kansas City or in Kansas City to Philly. All right, it was a lot. You know, he had heard it all week. It was my man had a lot of energy to get off. All right, he had a lot of energy to let go of in that moment.
He hasn't been with Philly for his entire life. Like he's 0-1. He's 0-1 against Philly. Like what? No. That man, he didn't get the monkey, didn't get released off his back. Like that doesn't make up for the Super Bowl loss. You won the game, which is dope. It was. Yeah. I'll say this about that game. That was a great game. It was, to me. There have been 3 games, and I guess if you count who played. Not the Sunday night game. There was another game that happened this weekend that kind of, y'all in Buffalo that had that feel of playoff football in the regular season. The Chiefs and the Eagles had that feel. Cowboys and Eagles had that feel. And to me, the beginning of Niners, Cowboys had that feel. And then until the Niners just started slapping them around all over the place. Right. And so, like, to me, that was a super fun game to watch. Again, as a Chiefs supporter, you know, I tried to be there for all my friends, to be a shoulder to cry on, because like it didn't have the ending that they wanted. The offense sucked in the second half. Yeah. But to get back to your point about the Eagles and them seemingly finding ways to win games, I find that is an admirable quality. And to be honest, part of the reason why I say that this game coming up this weekend is it's all the pressures on the Niners is because they're 2 games behind the Eagles. Like I watched that Eagles game Sunday, and when, you know, they make the 59-yard field goal, I turned into old boy from Breaking Bad. They can't keep getting away with it. You know, like that game was like a triple whammy. Not only did the Niners not make up a game, but then I'm going in fantasy against Jalen Hurts, and I had Josh Allen. And when Jalen scores a touchdown, that becomes the winning margin of victory. 147 points. No. And I lost.
No.
I lost. Yes. And I'm just like, what? So for the Niners, because of all the crying, frankly, that they did in the offseason over this game, all the pressure's on them. Y'all talked all this stuff about if our quarterback wouldn't have got hurt, we would have won the game. We would have beat the brakes off y'all. Y'all cried for several months. And I forget which player it was who said it. It was Hassan Reddick, who was like, yeah, they talked crazy all off season. They cried all off season. Now y'all get to come in our spot and let's strap it up. Let's go. Pause. Let's go. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like let's go. You know what I'm saying? And so winning this game does not hurt Philly. They've made it through the gauntlet of their schedule. I went and looked at their schedule today, and I'm like, they're like 6 games in a row where they should have took 2-3 losses, and yet they are undefeated. Even if they lose this week, you got to go to Dallas. Even if you would have gone a 2-game losing streak, right? That would suck because the Niners would be number 1 in the NFC, but you would still have the lead over Dallas, right? Because I believe you have a better conference record than Dallas to this point.
I think so, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, like, I don't know, man. Like, I want San Francisco to go in there and not die. You can't do all this talking and die because that has the ability to affect your season going forward. So, this is their last stand. If they want to have a shot at home field, they got to win. It will be listen, all due respect, I would like a stress-free game this weekend.
Look, we got the same mindset. Just let's get this over. Let's just figure this out, please. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I didn't, you know me. I've never had the same perception. I respect everything they do. I told you how much Fred Warner scared me last year. I'm like, that man terrifies me. He chased down the wide receiver. I don't like that. I'm scared. So you know how I felt about them. But yeah, the offseason, man, it's like once a week, it was somebody from 49ers talking. I'm like, yo, I understand your quarterback got hurt. Because I was even like, man, that's not the game I wanted for real, but you know, it is what it is. But like the talking, I'm like, yo, it's been 5 months. Why are you still doing this?
And I feel like Debo was the biggest culprit.
Yeah, like I think one of the safeties was talking kind of crazy. He's like, yeah, when I see him, I'm like, you gonna do what? To who? To Jalen? I bet you better not. I'll come see you. I'm gonna lose. Look, I'm gonna lose, but I'll come see you. I'm gonna lose. But I'm gonna come see you about that. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, it's like, yo. And it built, I feel like that's what built the animosity between the fans. Like, yo, okay, now I'm mad. And now we got this random rivalry that built up. A very toxic one. It's so toxic, so fast.
So quickly. And from the and like my thing is this, like, look, there are certain guys, you know, honestly, let's just put it this way. Trent Williams versus either Jordan Davis or Jalen Carter. Like, if we gonna go there, let's just get the two biggest giants from each squad and just say meet at the 50 and y'all just squabble. And we just gonna see who gonna win because like it was Jordan Davis who got hurt in overtime and he got up and I'm just like, that is a massive human being who and he's chasing Josh Allen. He's like almost step for step. And I'm like, and there's an equally massive human being right next to him on most plays. Like, how are they not just completely like there is no run game? Like your run game is non-existent. And to me, that obviously for the 49ers, that's the key to every game because everything is keyed off their running game. But I am terrified because their interior line play has been so spotty this year that if Fletcher Cox, if he's healthy, if Jordan Davis is healthy, if those three men are all healthy, that it's just going to be that little inside toss, their duos, all their out, even when they try to run stretch plays, that they're just simply going to destroy everything they try to do. And I don't know. I am full of I'm always full of anxiety when it comes to my sports teams, like I said, but a little bit more than because this is the game of the week. It's going to be the national game on Fox.
Yeah.
And man. Yeah,
national games are another level. National games are another level of stress. It's like, all right, everybody watching us. Don't embarrass. Don't have me arguing with people who don't watch us play every week on the internet. Trying to tell me about my team. So that's the worst. When the people who don't watch me trying to tell me about the team, like, yo, you don't even watch. You just your first time seeing this all year. Shut up.
Don't embarrass me in front of these white people, man.
Yes.
don't embarrass me in front of these white people. And that's the thing, right? As someone who watches every single game, there's nothing worse than when someone, so I'm going to make a reference to a player from who's no longer with the team. But Jimmy Garoppolo, all he does is win. Like how can you be mad? And I'm like, do you watch all the games or do you just watch the ones that come up on national television? Because I paid for a Sunday ticket. I watch all of the out of market San Francisco games, and I can tell you he's not good. And so, like you said, like if Purdy stinks it up, and it's going to be raining. Last time he played in the rain, it didn't go so well. And so it's just like, if he has a clunker of a game, then all I'm going to hear is, see, I told you, Kirk Cousins to San Francisco? Yep. Question mark? And I'm like, oh God. Oh,
yeah, that's the Purdy thing is funny because the rivalry got intense, I became a Purdy hater because the rivalry got intense. I started.
You can't hate Purdy, man. Purdy don't do nothing to nobody.
It's not his fault. I might have started calling it Brock privilege in my group chats.
Wow.
I might have done that. Okay, this man got Debo, Brandon. He got Debo, Brandon, McCaffrey. They told me he like he Brady. It's Brock privilege over there. So I was investing in it going up.
Privilege is crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah, but nah, Brock is actually the kind of quarterback that I kind of like. Like, I don't like these check down masters. Nah, take some chances. It might not work sometimes, but you went for it. I'd rather you do that than not. Like, we were talking to my friends about Jalen turnovers here. I'm like, some of them are bad, some of them are unfortunate, but also some of them is just him like AJ Brown down there somewhere. And I'm good with that. You know why? Because he got AJ Brown. Throw it up. He might catch it.
Throw it up. Just might Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fair?
Yeah, you obviously got to see a little bit of when they lost Trent, when they lost Debo. Things weren't as smooth, didn't go as smoothly. I think he's still a good quarterback. I do wonder how the concussion he suffered in the Minnesota game, which I'm like, he developed concussion symptoms on the ride home. And I'm like, guys, he probably had them when that big D lineman jumped over the top and, cracked him upside his head with his forearm. But we are products of our environment, even from a quarterback perspective. Yes, having all those players helps, but the thing that I talk about people when I talk about him versus Jimmy is he's Jimmy plus, and I mean that in the best way possible and not the most negative aspects of Jimmy's play. He takes care of the ball much better than Jimmy Garoppolo ever did, although people say his turnover worthy plays is quite high. They are quite high. But he still he doesn't turn the ball over as much as Jimmy does, and he will throw the ball deep. I think right now, at least last I checked, he had the best completion percentage on passes 20 yards or further downfield, which Jimmy wouldn't even maybe once or twice a game, and then he would overthrow him just about every time. So his accuracy has been pretty good on throwing those deep passes. It's the same thing when I talk about Mahomes, even with Hurts, right? Because he's got a really good set of skill talent around him. These guys can get open. They still got to put the ball on them, right? Like it doesn't matter if you're open, if you're throwing the ball behind them or you lead them into a big hit, underthrowing them, and they have to make these adjustments. And to me, that's the best part of Brock Purdy's game. When the offense is humming, he's getting back on that fifth step, and that ball is going out. Boom! It's a 20-yard out to Brandon Ayuk, or he's getting the ball into the hands of Debo and CMC and letting them create. And to me, that's the big difference in his offense. Is with Jimmy, it was a bunch of get the ball in the hands of those guys and let them rack up the yak. With this one, it's get it 10, 15 yards down the field. Then these guys can rack up the yak and we can really get some truly, truly explosive plays without them having to play Tecmo Bowl and weave through the entire defense to make these plays, happen. So
I like, but no, like I think my biggest concern for the Eagles in this game, the D line is amazing. Of course, the trench work, fantastic. But man, Slay and Bradbury are in we get cooked on occasion territory, and it scares me. Especially Bradbury. My man Bradbury get cooked about once a week. I've been seeing my man is getting cooked, like torched.
That Dallas game, he was the mark.
Oh man.
Like he was the mark. And to the point where Dak was just like you talked about Jalen, just throw it up because AJ down there somewhere. I know Bradbury covering one of them. Let me just throw it up. He gonna grab him. He gonna hold him. He not gonna be where he need to be. We good. And I feel like that last drive, that's exactly what happened. Where Bradbury at?
Yes.
Throw it at him. Yeah. Cool. Pass interference.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've had this is the 1 year where I've had the most lost feeling wins ever. Like the Chiefs game, in my mind, Scantling caught the ball for about 5 minutes. I'm like, So I was devastated. The Cowboys game, they had the goal line. I'm already getting off angry tweets about this loss in my brain. I'm like, yo, this is so stupid. Like, I'm about to light Brian Johnson up because I don't know what he's doing. Like, you run a go route on third down. What are we doing, Brian? I had everything ready. We survived that. But I've had the most losses that end up in wins. Where like I haven't even celebrated. I had the Cowboys game. I had like a 24-hour recovery period. I was like, we won. Hey, we won, man. That's good.
So let me ask you this. So it seems like what you're saying, because I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I'm the process matters just as much as the result guy.
100%.
Right. And so for me, like, it's cool. Like when the Niners were on that 5-game winning streak to start the season, and I got people in my group chat, man, the Niners are the best team in football. I go to the barber shop. Hey man, your boys, they look like they Super Bowl contenders. I'm like, guys, they got the line, they got issues, the secondary. The rush is not getting home. Like they've been able to live with all these things. They built up these leads. And so now people know they're passing. And so now you can pin your ears back, right? You can play a little bit more aggressively, yada, yada, yada. And then when the losing started happening, I'm like, all of y'all who was in my face talking, just trying to, get me to get out here and start talking wild because y'all want to talk crazy. Don't say a word. Shut up.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't talk to me. So yeah, it seems like the process matters to you just as much as the result does.
For sure. Because I like when the goal is not being a young team, not trying to figure things out. When the goal is Super Bowl, you're looking at everything like, yo, we can't get away with that in the playoffs. Like that might come back to bite you. I was looking at that Dolphins game like, yo, this secondary right here with Tyreek and Jalen coming up, I'm scared. I fear this. They got through that game like, oh, awesome. I don't know. That was the one good Eli Ricks game. I don't know where it came from. Don't know how he did it. I'm thankful. Appreciate it. Maybe he'll get back that one day. But you know what the 49ers should do?
He's been in trouble.
You know what the 49ers should do? Just convince the Chiefs to cut Kadarius Toney. He sees the Eagles. He's just the best player in the league when he sees the Eagles. I don't know what that's about, but he sees the Eagles. It's like, yeah, I'm good again. It's like, okay, bro, I've had enough of you. I get nightmares about him. I saw him in that game like, this is just what you do, huh? Only against us, you decide. You know what? No, I am. I'm good.
And he seems to get hurt right after that too. Like he he played well, then he missed the next game with the injury. So yeah, that's about par for his career at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're on the same wavelength. Which is why I was like, hey, talking to A1's gonna be fun because like we can discuss this hate in a fun manner. Because neither one of us, you're like the fandom in our, I was like, that's what I was telling us about. Yo, the fandom, the Chiefs 49ers fan in my direct life, it's awesome. It's cool. We don't have any heat. We don't have any tension.
No.
I might have
listen,
I might have tweeted when both was having contract discussions that, oh man, was hoping this went left. I might have said that, but that wasn't for you. It was about you.
yeah, listen, there's nothing wrong with a little petty. You gotta
Right.
be a little petty, right?
Yeah,
You know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? And so that's why, granted, I wasn't gonna fire off no tweets if the Eagles would have lost, but I definitely, maybe a Birdman hand rub. We coming to
Yeah.
town
You see.
fresh off a loss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like now we talking about home field on the line for real now.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Us and then the Cowboys back to back, a nice little 3-game losing streak. Yeah. And now like I'm looking at y'all schedule now and it's like, okay, y'all get past these 2 weeks and you should be favored in every game going forward. I'm actually surprised right now. Now I know the opening line had the Niners -1, and
I
I'm
saw
just
that.
like,
Yeah.
guys, like they don't need any more motivation. Like they're already motivated enough. I'm pretty sure Nick is probably in their ear saying, you see Vegas, see what they said, that they got you
No,
guys
no,
minus
yeah.
as underdogs in this game at home.
No, yeah.
Like I don't know, man. Like I think the thing I can appreciate about Philly is, like you said, that they seem to have this mentality of no matter what happens, they're down 17-7. They were down, 10 points most of, at least the third quarter. I think the third quarter is when they really they get the interception, which Josh,
That's a
he gonna throw you one.
He'll give you a shot. He'll give you a chance.
At least one.
You get a chance.
And he throws a pick. They end up scoring. I think, did they take the lead on that one, or is that's when it kind of went back and forth at that point?
It was the next one. Yeah, it was the next one.
Next one.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I can't. I wanted to at one point. I had two thoughts in my head at the conclusion of that game. I went, Dallas couldn't do it. The Chiefs couldn't do it. The Bills couldn't do it. But we gonna do it. That was my first thought. My second thought was I almost tweeted out the gif of Thanos getting up off the throne and saying, fine, I'll do it myself.
You know what's funny? I went browsing the 49 subreddit to see how it was going over there. First off, the top 8 posts were about the Eagles. I said, oh yeah, this is real. And like the second post was the Thanos gif.
Yeah, man. Like, dang, like somebody, like, bro, like they can't keep winning these games.
Right.
Like, I truly am hoping that you guys are using up kind of like the Vikings, like all of your one score, good luck charm in the regular season, and in the postseason, it all falls apart. I don't normally. Oh, actually, if it falls apart, it needs to be against the Niners. Like, I don't want it to be, because here's what I don't want to happen: is it happens to like the Cowboys, and then somehow the Niners make it to the NFC title game, and now they got to beat the Cowboys. I am terrified of facing the Cowboys again. Because all of the betting line, the narrative is going to be, the Cowboys can't do nothing with the Niners.
Right.
They beat them up in the playoffs 2 years in a row. They beat them up in the regular season again this year. There's nothing y'all can do with them. And I have to give it to Dakota. He is playing very good football right now.
It's really good.
Now, it's against some bums, it's against some bad teams. But when he stinks against bad teams, we kill him. So when he plays well, you got to give him his kudos.
For sure.
And so, let me ask you this. Do you feel that any team has played great football for the majority of the season? Because I feel like this season, the football has been with flashes of really good play.
I fully agree with that. Like I saw Brady said that the other day and people were getting on him, like he's right though. This has not been like some excellent year of football. Everybody's just been kind of getting away. Everyone seems very flawed in a way that can be fatal at some point. Like I was back and forth. I was like, yo, it was one point during the season. I said, yo, the Lions are playing the best football in the NFL right now for a few weeks. And then I'm like, wait a minute. It's the Ravens. The Ravens are playing the best football. And you can't trust them to finish a game for anything. You can't trust them at all. They will not finish a game. They refuse. Like, nah, 4 quarters, nah. We good.
They lose at least 2 or 3 games. Here we go, guys. Come on. Like, you shouldn't have lost to the Colts. What are we doing, guys? You shouldn't have lost to what? They lost to Pittsburgh, right?
Pittsburgh,
this year?
Yep.
Like, what are you doing losing in a game where you dominated just about every statistical category? What do you like?
Right.
That's my thing with their defense, legit.
Yes.
Super legit. But as much as I like Lamar, I'm always concerned that when it matters the most, I think he's only played in 4 playoff games. He's 1-3. He hasn't been necessarily great in any of those games. He's done enough to get by in that one, and it was subpar in all the other ones. I do have some concerns about him even if with the home field. To me, it might be better for him to go on the road because I think the pressure of playing at home, and if he starts off slow, now the crowd starts to get a little fidgety, and I think that starts to creep into his head. So, but yeah, man, I'll say this about Brady's comments. I agreed with him until well, first of all, and I think Alex Smith said this also, like, bro, you just retired. Like, it's not like you left the game 10, 15 years ago and now you're looking back. Like, you were a part of this league just last year.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Well, I think the other part of this that I feel is that I disagree with him is he goes, the quarterback plays better. And I'm like, sir, no, it's not. No. The quarterback play is not improved.
I didn't even know he said that. Yeah, no.
Yes, he said everything. He said the quarterback plays better. He did say that because I remember I actually tweeted that out on Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
And to me, here's the thing. Here's the thing with the league, and why these games have been so mediocre is because the quarterback play. We've lost a lot of the recipes, as Michael Irvin would say. We're losing recipes.
That's my favorite.
Right? When it's one of all the Michael Irvin like one-liners and great moments. It is his greatest moment.
Absolutely.
Like he had to have been dealing with a woman or women in his life where he was coming home from NFL Network after being there all Sunday, and all he wanted was a home cooked meal, and he was staring at Boston Market when he walked in the door. She said, "Baby, I got this cheesecake factory for you, or maybe some hamburger helper," and he just wasn't. He like, I ain't had to eat hamburger helper since I was living down in Miami, in the hood. Right. Like, nah, that's not what I want. So I'm pretty sure at some point in his life, there was some woman or women that was frustrating his soul when all he wanted was a cooked meal. And these new women wasn't giving him nothing
at all.
Peanut butter and jelly.
That's all he had.
But yeah, but I think like when you look at the quarterbacks who retired, just like in the past like 5 to 7 years, Cam, Phillip Rivers, it pains me to say his name, but Eli Manning, Matt Ryan, Ben Roethlisberger, right? You look at all these quarterbacks who maybe they weren't going to lead you to a championship, but they were going to produce quality football teams that could make the playoffs and in the right circumstances could make a run at times. And you look at what they've been replaced with: Zach Wilson, Kenny Pickett, Justin Fields is up and down. The Trey Lance experiment didn't work. Jimmy G was not what's up, right? Like you look across the league, the quarterback play is just subpar from what we have been accustomed to. And then, yes, when you do add in subpar coaching and bad coaching decisions, now you got a perfect storm where, yes, the defenses are catching up, but even worse than that, the QB play is regressing. And so now, like teams just they're not what we're used to seeing.
Right. That's a really good point. Yeah, I think it's definitely a lot of factors, and like I think the NBA is gonna have this in a few years too. Like when LeBron, KD, Steph, and all those guys go, I think we're gonna be like, basketball's not as good anymore. It's like it might still be good, but it's not gonna feel this. It's still gonna be an entire era that's gone, and we're gonna have to adjust to that. And we're gonna see how teams adjust and how the players like how people embrace like the newer faces of the league. And I think with football, like you said, it's just not as many good quarterbacks. Like
yeah, so about go ahead.
It's about what? I guess Mahomes, Dak conditionally depends. Sometimes is up there.
I mean, Josh, I put Lamar.
Yeah.
Jalen.
Right.
I'm definitely Joe. Obviously, we lost. Also, here's the other part, right? We lost a lot of quarterbacks to injury. So Joe Burrow.
Yeah, that's true.
Losing Kirk Cousins, it matters because he is a decent and good quarterback.
He's gonna have 7,000 yards, apparently.
I'm gonna tell you, when you look at how many bad quarterbacks are across the league, like Kirk can basically call his number. Coming off an Achilles injury, he can probably call his number because, like, what else is that? To me, that went on his professional tombstone is going to say, what else are you going to do?
That is what's going to say.
Like when you look at his when his career is done and it's immortal, like it's done on his headstone is what else? I feel like that was what happened in Washington. They kept kicking the can down the road because they didn't have a better option. He becomes the first quarterback ever to get a fully guaranteed deal in Minnesota. He got a second guaranteed deal in Minnesota because where else were they going to go?
Yeah.
What else are they going to do? And then even to this point, I felt like coming into this season, there were some rumblings about Justin Jefferson maybe not resigning, in part because he was not in love with the idea of tying his prime to Kirk Cousins. But then, like, it started off poorly, right? But then they start to run on this winning streak, and he's playing really well. And then he gets hurt, and it's just like, okay, another guy is going to get paid a lot of money, at least as a backup. Josh Dobbs comes in, he wins you a couple of games and keeps you afloat in the playoff race, right? But yeah, like, to me, if the Brock Purdy thing falls apart, I think San Francisco might be interested. Minnesota's going to be interested. If you're a team that has, some aspirations of being some type of contender, you're going to give them a call. Atlanta makes, once they fire Arthur Smith, get him out of here expeditiously.
He got to go.
If whatever coach they bring in, I would say Washington's probably sold on Sam Howell, but if they have any concerns about him, like, to me, there are about 5 to 7 teams where Kirk can just say, guys, the bidding will begin in 15 minutes. May the odds ever be in your favor.
100%. And that speaks to the conversation too, like the scarcity in quarterbacks, where it's like, look, the best option is Kirk Cousins. It's like, I know it's not bad, but I would like something better. Do you have anything better in stock? Nah, we got Kirk. That's the best we got. Sure, I'll take Kirk home. It's cool.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that CJ Stroud is being considered as an MVP and considered as a top 10 quarterback, like, when was the last time you had a rookie? I mean, RG3, maybe his rookie year.
Yeah.
Because Andrew Luck's rookie season did not start. I mean, they made the playoffs, but I don't think I had to go back and look it up. Maybe he did kill it. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe he did kill it. But I feel like you have to go back to there. Cam threw for 4,000 yards in the season, but they didn't make the playoffs. Like, they weren't a good team.
Like, he was like 4,000. He had like throwing 4,000 yards. They were like 2-14 or something crazy. Like, they were bad.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, when you go and look at, like, these rookie quarterbacks, like, they normally don't come in and take over the league like that. Right. And so, again, like, let me go back and see. I mean, Andrew was there. They went 11-5.
Oh,
4,000 yards. He threw a lot of interceptions, though. So it was 23 touchdowns, but 18 interceptions.
Okay, yeah.
So he threw a lot of interceptions, but I mean, it's still a pretty good season. But right. I mean, but no one was saying of Andrew Luck in his first season, oh yeah, he's top 10. Like, he just wasn't, not in a league where you still had Breeze, Rodgers, Brady, Manning, right? Where you still had those guys kind of as your top tier. And then you got the Matt Ryans of the world, who are still the Big Bens of the world, the Eli's of the world, who are still around in that same window. But yeah, man, like, the quarterback play is just, it's been, I call it the Blake Bortleization of the league.
Wow. I like that. That's a good term.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about that run in 2016, 2015, 2016, where they make it to the AFC title game, he wasn't overwhelming you with his play. It was good running game, good defense. Hey, Blake, 2 or 3 times a game, we need you to do something. Other than that, just don't screw it up. That's all we saying. Don't screw it up. Just get us from, he like that good old hoopty. Just get me from point A to point B.
That's all I need. That's all we need.
Don't transmission, just hold on now. Hold on for me. You know what I'm saying? Alternator, don't you dare go out. Let me pray. Let me lay hands on you real quick.
Right.
Don't go out, but that was what he was. And to me, that's what a lot of quarterbacks around the league is just, they're just asking to don't screw it up. Let the defense handle it, make a couple of plays here and there, and we'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it's we even lost what we thought was an elite quarterback, and would have made some conversations with that man in Cleveland. That one.
You want to hear a theory I got about, as Bomani Jones calls him, the nasty man?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a theory on Deshaun. My theory on Deshaun Watson is he did allegedly, let me, just in case somehow this reaches his ears, allegedly, he did all that nasty stuff with the women against their will. And to quote the great philosopher, T-Rex, he got away with it, but he didn't get away with it. Yes. To me, in my opinion, God spun the block on him and said, oh, okay, so you think you about to get away with all this stuff you're doing and get $250 million guaranteed? That football ability, I need that back.
Yes.
Because it does not make sense what happened to him
at all.
His final season in Houston on a bad team, he was not the reason they were losing these games. He was balling. He was playing great. And he showed up a year and a half, 2 years later, and you would have thought that man never picked up. Literally, it was if the Monstar said, and he just went, and now he's throwing passes directly to defenders. He can't hit an open receiver to save his life. I know that game that the last game where he got hurt, he went 14 for 14. And granted, while I didn't see the game, so I can't speak to it directly. But from what I heard people who covered the game say, it was a lot of short passes, check downs, stuff like you should be able to do this, but we're not trusting you to do anything other than that. And I promise you, bro, every time I look at his stat line, that belief that God took his ability to play football, I'm 65% sure God took it now. Yeah. I'm 70% sure that God said, nah, you got away with it, but you ain't getting away with it.
Yo, you know what's so funny? That's in line with my theory. My theory was that he's covering in so much guilt he can't play football no more because he's just holding all this guilt in from what he did because he know what he did. He got all this guilt, and he trying to hold it all in. It's not working. It's not working. Because I said the same thing. Like, yo, they were talking about he's falling off. Like, yo, he's not even 30. Why did this don't make this is not a sensible fall off? This is not logical.
It is not, especially given the last time you saw him play football. Right. None of it makes sense. And the fact that, granted, Deshaun was always kind of banged up even in Houston. But now we're to this point where we're just like, bro, like you are Mr. Glass. Like every time you step out on the field, like you concussions, shoulder issues, lower leg issues. Like, bro, like what is going on? And that, to me, it's the only thing that makes sense. Either, like I said, it's either the guilt eating away at him, and it's just like he just seeing like some massage hands every time. So you do right by me. Everything you touch, like he just seeing this.
When he threw the ball backwards, he saw the massage. He saw it when he threw it. He was trying to throw the football at it. He was like, get away.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's hearing Andre 3000 album playing in his head because that's that massage heights type music. He got them flutes playing in his head, and all he sees is these hands just doing this every time until you do right by me. Everything you touch, Deshaun, is going to fail. Like, bro, like, because it, like you said, it just doesn't make sense at all.
It doesn't. But yeah, this game, man, Sunday's gonna be fun. A lot on the line. You know, the thing about me, everyone, I have a confession. All right. You know how cool how cool that game was for like a non-Eagles fan Sunday or a Bills fan. When they were down 17-7 and playing like dirt, I had to work Sunday night. So I chose sleep because y'all not gonna have me at work tired for y'all playing like this. I need bed. You know, I went to sleep. All right. I went to sleep. I woke up to a lot of texts and calls. I was like, how'd they get 37? They had 7 when I left at halftime. I've seen them score 37 points in a half. I don't know. Maybe last year. What happened?
Probably
here?
Last year.
Yeah. what happened here? I was very confused. But yeah, because this is my thing. I always say, look, I looked at the schedule. I saw how the NFL schedule makers decided that we need to play all our tough games back to back to back to back. And I was like, okay. So if we lose a couple games here and there, I'm going to be fine with that because that's part of the game. What I don't accept is losing games because you're being stupid. Like, it was a 10-1 penalty advantage in the first half. The ref was on our side. Hassan Reddick ripped Josh Allen's jersey, and they said, intentional grounding, big dog. Yeah, no worry, but intentional grounding. You know? So I'm like, yo, the refs helped. The refs did everything they could for it. I can't mad at the refs. Y'all just like, nah, we don't want it. Like, yo, they gave you 10 penalties, man. Do something, you know? It was bad play frustrates more than anything. Just like losing a game where you execute well, but a couple things don't go your way, fine. Playing poorly and just not executing on the level I know you know how to execute, that's what I have no tolerance for that. No tolerance for that. And Brian Johnson, Julio Jones screens need to not happen ever again. I can't. That's the second time. Like, you can't keep doing this to Julio. You can't.
No, not the ghost of Julio Jones, because he's done. Obviously, you know, he had that homie call in. He had AJ call in, like, yo, my man need a job, man. Like, he help my guy out, man. He a good dude. You know, he a hard worker. He'll be here on time. He don't call in too much. Just go ahead. Yeah. I vouch for him. Yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
but yeah, throwing them screens to So like, why do you think it has been such a struggle for you guys on the offensive side of the ball? I mean, granted, defense, you talked about the secondary having struggles at points, but why offensively has it seemed like Jalen? I'll get to this after you answer this question. I know he might be the MVP for MVP leader at this point, but
He shouldn't be.
why do you think it's been such a struggle for them?
Yeah, first I want to say honestly, even as an objective Eagles fan, he shouldn't be MVP. He shouldn't be. There should not be a quarterback. There should not be a quarterback MVP this season. We cannot force this. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's have this combo now. I was gonna save that for after that question, but
there is no quarterback MVP this year. When I looked up after the game last week, and they were like, "Oh, Jalen Hurts favorite MVP," I said, "Huh." Like, I guess.
What more must Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, and Christian McCaffrey do? I'll throw Myles Garrett in there too from the defensive side.
Yeah,
what more does Myles have to start breakdancing before the snap? He's already playing basketball. He going behind. He pulling the heads. He going between tween. Like he's already doing all of this before the snap just to get y'all attention. Like what more? How many times must Tyreek run by people as if they're standing still to catch passes before we go, hey, this guy might go for almost 2,000. He said he wanted to go for 2,000. He has to average, I looked it up, 112 yards a game the rest of the season. If he can do that, he will hit the 2,000-yard mark in a season.
It's very doable.
It's man, because he can go for 60 at any time. Like he can get that in a half. So I mean, I don't know. Like I've seen, CJ Stroud should be top for what? Like I get it. You weren't expecting that. This is the what in battle rap I call this the curse of high expectations and the gift of none. Mm-hmm. No offense to none, but shout out to none. I do got respect for none, but that's what I call it.
Yeah.
I get it. Y'all didn't have high expectations for the Texans, and they've exceeded them, but that doesn't make you the MVP just because he has played really well, right? Sure. But yeah, like to me, what Christian McCaffrey's done for San Francisco and their offense, he makes the thing go. That team took off the moment they got him. 100%. What Tyreek has done in Miami and what AJ was doing, where he was, what was it, 6 straight games, 125 yards?
Yeah. He turned Calvin Johnson for 6 weeks. Yeah.
Like, bro, like what are we like? If this is year, you can't have a non-QB winner. We're never going to get one, no matter what a non-QB does, and it frustrates my soul. Like if Jalen Hurts gets his MVP simply because he has the best record on the best team. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
I'm gonna be like, yeah, go Jalen. I'm also gonna be like, that's not the person. It's not the person. Because I have the same top 3 as you. I said the same thing earlier today. I said when I was on Kane said, I said McCaffrey, Hill, AJ, one of the 3. I don't care which one of the 3. We're not doing this with the quarterback this year. We cannot force this. Like, because you know what you give a good rookie quarterback with like a 6-5 record? You give him rookie of the year. That's what you do. You give him rookie of the year and we go on about a day. That's what we do. We don't give him MVP.
That's what, yeah. Not unless he has the greatest offensive season of all time and the number 1 seed in his conference. Yeah, if that's what CJ Stroud does, absolutely. Come on down, my boy. You earned it. But short of that, man, like it's just I hate the fact that this award has become a quarterback award. And I get it. Quarterbacks make this thing go around. They make this game work because so much has been placed on their shoulders. But dog, like Jalen Hurts, I get it. Now his final stat line looked amazing, but for about 3 quarters, that was
struggle bus.
That was Steve Rogers before the Captain America serum. The first 3 quarters.
Yeah, but to get back to your question, I think part of it. One, I think Jalen isn't fully right for one. Even before the knee contusion, he wasn't taking a lot of the chance he did last year. And part of it was like, I wonder if he's in a mindset of, I don't want to go into the playoffs hurt again. Because, he got banged up for the playoffs last year. And he's probably still a little bothered. Because even that Giants game that they won, it was the Giants. They were like, look, just chill, bro. We ain't got to do a lot. 49ers games, like, hey, Brock's out. We just gonna go get this win real quick. You know, he wasn't required to do a bunch, but I do think that bothered him more than he said. He'll never say it because he just doesn't say anything ever. But I do think he's probably trying to be a little more conservative with how he uses his body. Remember last year, it'd be like week 3, he trying to truck defenders. Like, hey man, it's week 3, big dog. Go ahead and slide. We ain't gotta do that. Just hold that for later. Hold that energy for later. You know, I think that's part of it. I think play calling is another part of it. I just don't. Sometimes I like Brian Johnson. Sometimes I really don't like Brian Johnson. And sometimes, like, you know, he's fine. A 2nd and 22 draw in Arrowhead Stadium almost broke me. It really almost broke me.
I'm not mad at that call though, because you're not expecting that, right? You're expecting it to be a pass, so you're expecting linebackers to be back retreating. You're expecting to get that rush coming upfield. You want to invite it, right? So it's a play out of the early 2000s, right? I'm not gonna lie to you, right? That's the logic, but I'm not mad at that call.
That's fair. I'll accept that because I don't know if you saw the tweets, but I about 4 in a row. I just said a 2nd and 22 draw, and then I spelled it. I said it in number form, then I spelled it like fully spelled it like a 2nd and 22 QB draw. But I do think part of play calling, part of just, man, like I said, the league always catches up. They had a year to watch Eagles tape. It's like, okay, we know what they want to do. Let's take some of this away. Now the manager pull games out, but the league is getting a little better, and O-line's a little older. I love all of those guys, but Johnson's been out a couple of times this year. Kelsey's been in and out of games. I think he missed one game or 2 this year. I think it's a combination of just this is how this is football, and it's not going to be as dominant. But yeah, I do think Hurts has just not looked as calm in a lot of situations as he did last year. I think part of it is maybe wants to take more chances, and part of it is he's not as healthy as he wants to do and doesn't want to do too much. But no, they have not looked consistent at all, and I do think it's a combination of a lot of things. But which scared me because, you know, I watched, you know, one of the best, you know, I watched the MVP level quarterback get hurt and then never be that good again in his life. So I always have like I got PTSD from that Carson Wentz time. But there's more winning taking place. I'm like, okay, you know what? Hurts still doing this thing. No, I think it's a little bit of everything on this offense. I really do. But yeah,
so as an Eagles fan, how do you feel about the brotherly shove? I mean, there's a lot of talk about whether the play should be outlawed, if it's good for the game. How do you feel about that play?
It's a modified quarterback sneak with like one of the greatest centers of all time. You know, sorry. I'm sorry we have Jordan Mailata, Lane Johnson, and Jason Kelsey on the line, and the quarterback that squatted 600 in college. I know what you want from me. But I'm like, yo, it's a quarterback sneak, guys. It's just a quarterback sneak in an interest formation. You know, the Bills did it because they got Josh Allen. And I saw that. I said, oh, that's what it feels like, huh? I saw it was a few Josh Allen plays Sunday. I'm like, that's what it's like, huh? That's what be going on.
Man, listen. As much as I am a Mahomes fan, like there are things that Josh Allen does where I'm just like this is the end game for quarterbacks because of how his physical makeup,
right?
Because he is nearly impossible to bring down. There were several times where I think, oh, the Eagles got him. Like this play's done, and he just shimmies. You know, they grab him, he shrugs them off, and then he's throwing that touchdown throw to Diggs at the half was,
oh yeah,
like I literally stood up and said, oh crap, he got that ball to Diggs, like, right. And he caught. Like I could not believe that pass got there with even with all the heat that he put on it. But yeah, like he's like Thanos to me. Like that's the end game right there. Like when he's on, that team becomes incredibly hard to beat. And I know they'll probably make the playoffs because I think the AFC North is going to cannibalize itself and so on and so forth. But yeah, man, like that guy. But no, as far as the push, like I just want to see. I don't wish injury on Jalen Hurts. I don't wish injury on anybody because I think that's super lame. But I would like to see, and I think some teams have tried it. I want to say the Chiefs might have tried in the Super Bowl. Just jump over the top.
Yeah.
And just try to jump over the top, grab Jalen by his neck, and try to get the Draymond going. Just get the Drake.
Right.
Just get him and just start dragging him back.
Every
I
week,
don't know what else you can do.
every week I'm waiting for the Dave to like, okay, I wonder if this is the week somebody has a formula that ends the shove. And now we are here punting on fourth down like the rest of like these peasants in the league. Now we got to punt on fourth down. Now we got 3
I mean,
downs like everyone else.
it's gonna have to be the injury. It's gonna have to be like an injury to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, because what the Giants try to do it, and I feel like their 3 of their linemen haven't been back since, and that was like week 4.
Right. This was funny to me when people were like, oh, it's not safe. I said, yo, Mahomes dislocated his knee on a QB sneak like 3 years ago, dog.
Now listen. Let me get these bars off real quick.
Go ahead, talk to me.
Yo, Andy, you got to do. You got, bro. It's the last thing they're expecting at this point. When it's 4th and 1, 4th and half a foot, I'm not gonna. I might send you the screenshots I took because I still got them in my phone. When they played Miami, their last offensive possession, it's 3rd and 1. They run a play. It was a play action play. I think McKinnon's in the game. Blitzer comes through. McKinnon submarines and takes him out. He's looking for Kelsey. He's looking middle of the field. Justin Watson's covered. Kelsey's covered. Sky Moore is open. He's beaten not Xavier Howard. Holland. He's beaten Holland. I think that's his name. He's got him turned around. Just throw him the ball. Yeah. He doesn't throw him the ball. He ends up throwing the ball away. They punt it away. I took a screenshot before the snap and right after the snap. There's a gap this big. No lie to you. There's a gap that big where all Mahomes had to do at the snap is just go to his left, take 2 steps, fall down. Nobody's going to fall on you.
Yeah.
Because they're not expecting you to run. You don't have to get no tush push. You don't have to do no brotherly shove. You can simply go to the line as if you're going to hand the ball off. If you see that huge gap, and I feel like did Jalen do that? I know the touchdown they ran because the way it was designed, but
yeah. They had a play one earlier in the game, yeah. Where like it was they lined up like they were going to sneak and it didn't.
No. I'm talking about there was a play where like I feel like they didn't line up in the sneak formation. I think they just lined up regularly, but because the split on the defense, it might have been
it's happened a couple times.
It was one of them that did it.
Yeah, it's happened a couple times. Yeah, they just go get the yard. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, he went 2 feet, fell down, got the first down. Like, bro, I'm not saying do it in the regular season, but I'm saying in a high leverage situation in the playoffs, divisional round, AFC title game, do or die moment to either extend the drive in the game. If you see this big gap in between your guard and your center, whether it's left or right, bro, just simply, if I were Mahomes, I would just go to the line and be like, hey, guys, this is what we doing. We sneak. I hear what they saying to me in his helmet. It's 3rd and a foot. We just going, if there's a gap, I'm taking it. If it's not there, then we'll run what's called. But I mean, because it's free money. And it was a freak accident. I get it. It's the franchise. This is Jordan. I get it. But ain't nobody gonna get killed, smack.
Right.
Sneak. Run the sneak when you got the opportunity. All right, man, I'm done. Because that situation frustrates me as a Chiefs supporter. That frustrates me like no other. Just run the sneak, man.
Right. Because I forgot. I remember hearing that. I think you told me that earlier when we talked about the Chiefs that they just don't rank sneaks anymore, and I forgot about that. Yeah, they were like, nah, one time that's enough, never again. Nope, got hurt, can't do it anymore.
That man dislocated his kneecap, and they done used Blake Bell to try to run the sneak. They hand the ball to the fullback on 3rd and 1. They had that. They don't run it anymore because they don't have Tyreek, but they had the little play where Tyreek, he goes in motion, he gets in the spot.
The
little in and out, little in and out play. They run that play. They do anything but tell Mahomes to fall forward because they don't want nothing to happen. And here's my thing. If Mahomes was 1, fragile, or 2, if he wasn't running around the field playing backyard football for 4 quarters when he's trying to escape this rush, it would make sense. Right. But he out here doing all this other stuff. Man, bro, like I said, it's gonna be okay. It's not your fault, Andy. Just like I said, just one time when you really need it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that's the thing about the shove. I think the shove is just a unique play to a specific archetype of quarterback or line. Because, like I said, only a few teams maybe to pull that specific one off. So I think it's a unique play. You can't ban a unique play that one team excels. You can't ban it just for being a good play. It's not. There's nothing uniquely wrong with it. It's a copycat league, and y'all tried it, and y'all realize, oh, we're not good at that. We ain't got the facilities or the people for that. Get a better O line. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, look. Brock tried to run the sneak and got a concussion. got smacked upside the head. You know, I mean,
Yeah, sometimes just bring the old school sneak back, man. Just bring the don't make it so obvious. Bring the old school sneak back. You know that's still good. That didn't have to go away. You know, kick it old school.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. So how you think this game goes Sunday?
Sunday. I think you and I are both stressed for quarter. Well, I'm ready to give up in the first half, and then and then you're chilling, and then second half we're both stressed. I think Sunday's game comes down to one or two plays where either I almost said Nick Shanahan, where either Kyle Shanahan gets the better of Sean Desai, or Brian Johnson gets the better of Steve Wilks. It'll come out of one or two just really good play calls. And realistically, not realistic, Brian, because I don't pick the Eagles publicly too much. I don't do that. I do think I believe Shanahan the play caller, right? I think if anybody can exploit a defense that has a bad secondary, it's Kyle Shanahan. So I think the 49ers get this game by about 3. I'm thinking like a weird 3 though. Like 22-19, something that doesn't make sense, something strange. I think that's what I'm looking at. It's cool. I'll pick your team, you pick my team, then we'll just go in the neutral because no one affected anything.
So I'm going to take the Eagles, yes, because I am a pessimist. So if they win, if the Niners win, it's like they exceeded my expectations. I'll say this before I give my pick. All I ask for from my team is be competitive. I don't care, because I can't ask for anything more than that. Like you don't owe me a win, right? Like I can't go into this thing expecting a win because the other team gets paid too. They practice, they run plays, they watch film, all this good stuff. So with that being said, I'm picking the Eagles simply because I do think, now granted, maybe there's some things that Shanahan can take from, I feel like the Chiefs had a good running game against them first half. I feel like they abandoned in the second half. I feel like that one particular drive from Buffalo, but they just said all runs.
Oh man. They were like, nah, we ain't got to pass. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah. And they were hitting for 10 yards a pop just about every time they handed the ball off.
Yeah.
So maybe there are some things that Shanahan can exploit. But I just think that the interior of the Eagles front is going to make enough plays against the Niners O-line that'll put San Francisco in some situations where it's, 2nd and 10, 2nd and 9, 2nd and 11. And, Brock Purdy is not Josh Allen. So he's not escaping Hassan Reddick or Brandon Graham or Fletcher or name the Eagles front player. He's not going to be able to escape them with the same aplomb and ease that Josh Allen did. So I really wish we could have got this game last year because like I said, I feel like I do feel like the pressure's on the Niners to prove a point, to try to pick up a game, and I just think it's going to be too much, and I think they'll lose, and they'll probably meet again. To me, I got all the respect in the world for the Lions. I think they are a year away, and Jared Goff has been looking like the Rams era.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I'll say this: I appreciate him. Like Thanksgiving tradition with the turkey and the ham. I appreciate the Lions thinking it up on Thanksgiving. Like it wasn't feeling like Thanksgiving because like they were good,
right?
And they were playing really well, and they showed up and snuck up the joint. I'm like, it feels like summer madness again. It feels like Thanksgiving now. This is the Lions thinking it up on my TV at 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I just feel like the class of the NFC are the Lions, the Cowboys, and the Niners, and one of those three teams will be facing each other in the NFC title game. And I really wish last year Brock wouldn't have got hurt. I will believe. I'll say this: I do believe in my heart they probably win that game, just because it was even without Brock, it was still competitive until the end of the second quarter.
Yeah. I'm not mad at that at all. Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all.
So I think they would have won that game, in my opinion. But
yeah,
Too little, too late. Can't worry about that. I just want to see Nick Sirianni get his come up at least this week. At least 1 week.
Just 1 week. Just 1 week of it.
Listen. They can win the Super Bowl. They can win at least for this week.
Yeah.
Let us have this one.
And you know what I said before the season? I said, yo, I'm fine splitting with it. Before when I saw Niners, I said, look, if we split, but they get the regular season, we get the playoff game, I'm good with that. I will make peace with that. Because that's the thing. The idea of playing them twice is what I don't like. Because I remember I said they want this game so bad. They gonna want this game so bad. I'm like, a split is fine with me. That's how I feel. I'm trying to talk myself into a split with the Cowboys being okay. Because logically, that should happen. We should split, depending on how that game went. They're at home. It should be a split. Am I gonna treat it like that Sunday? Check Twitter and see. You'll see how I handle it. We'll see how I end up handling it ultimately. But in my mind, I'm like, a split is okay. When the teams are this good, a split is perfectly fine. It is okay. But yeah, that 1 seed is so crucial in the NFC because I don't want to. Like I said, I don't believe in the Lions. I don't want to play them though. I don't play them with confidence. I don't see them get confidence. If they get confidence, I don't want a Dan Campbell team with confidence. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I think that's fair. Although again, at the end of the day, I keep coming back to no matter how well he plays, it's still Jared Goff.
That's ultimately a fact. That's really a fact.
When
they went on Thanksgiving, they'll be ready. When they went on Thanksgiving, it's like, okay, they're ready now. They're ready.
they're
finally ready.
They're finally ready. But yeah, I feel like it's still Jared Goff, and I feel like if you can, again, I feel like the Packers showed a lot of a blueprint of how you beat them. Right, one, you get the lead on them, obviously, but two, you get that pressure on Goff, and he'll revert to his old ways. So, but yeah, man, I just like those 3 teams, man. Either way, the playoffs are going to be very fun. Absolutely. I want that 1 seed because I want the road to go through San Francisco because it's going to be a lot harder to beat whoever it is. If it's Dallas, if it's Detroit, if it's any one of those 4 teams, it's going to be a tough road to hoe if you got to go into their stadium and get a win. Because I do think, I'm not going to say refereeing is tilted to home teams, but I think data has shown that calls are more home teams are more likely to get calls.
I'm not allowed to say anything about officiating after the last 2 weeks. I'm not allowed to say anything. Yeah, we've had a nice couple weeks. We had a nice little stretch.
But I guess the thing is so while I will point out, so I feel like the Cleveland game for the Niners, there are a bunch of calls. So who was that? Who fumbled? Was it AJ Brown?
Yeah. When they saw it, yeah.
I've seen that exact play. I think it was the Chiefs. It wasn't the Niners. I forget who they were playing. But I've seen that exact play where it's he caught the ball, 1-2, boom, called a fumble. And I'm just at this point, I don't know what is or is not a catch and a fumble anymore just because it's called so inconsistently.
Yeah.
But I am quite tired of seeing fans get on Twitter and cry about, oh, Mahomes and the Chiefs, they got the refs in their back pocket, or this team, they get all the calls.
They got us in that category. We're in that category now. We're in the category now. I saw yesterday, the Chiefs and the Eagles get all the calls. I'm like, oh, okay, we're here now. We're at this phase of the winning.
Yeah, I'm just bro, look, officiating is a problem in the league. I feel like we have this conversation every year.
Yes.
But for the most part, it's a tough job. They get it right most of the time. It's just, yes, I would like them to get it. To me, they need to have, and it'll never happen because the refs are not going to, they're not going to big boy, big brother, those guys on the field. But to me, every call needs to be reviewed. Just I don't know if it was this game or the Sunday night game where it was a fumble. And before the next snap, they went, oh, we already reviewed it. It's not a fumble. Play on.
Right.
They need to have that for roughing the passer and pass interference and some of these other things. That play where where Josh basically gets his shirt ripped.
Yeah.
He tried to pull a Hulkamania on his shirt. Dog, you got to be able to look at that and go, hey guys, y'all missed this. Right. Okay, he was intentional grounding, but it was because he's being mauled by a human being. Another man was mauling him, and so that's why he had to do that. So yeah, let's give them the horse collar play, get them 15-yard or half the distance to the goal, and we play on. So I don't know, man, but to me, there's too much crying about officiating and it being the reason why teams lose games. No, the players ultimately lose the games. Now,
right?
Unless we're talking about the Saints and oh boy knocking the bejesus out of the wide receiver on the most egregious non-call in football history.
That was different. That was really crazy.
And even then, though, the Saints still could have won the game.
Right. I said that too. Like, the Saints had a shot at winning that game. Yep, I remember that. Right.
It went to overtime.
Yeah, and they got the ball.
They had the ball first.
Yeah.
They had the ball first. So I mean, they still had a chance. I understand that. Hey, yeah, you're in a position to run the clock out, kick the field goal, and odds would have been in your favor of that happening for you. But even then, bad snaps happen, mishandles happen, missed kicks still happen. But yeah, man, like teams got to stop. Fans got to stop, bro. They mess up. It happens. Live with it. Right. Your team got to be good enough to overcome it for
right.
If you want to win. So
yeah, for sure. I think that's it. I don't think I had any more points, man. We're gonna have a good week. Peaceful. We're gonna pray. We're gonna be prayed up. You know what I'm saying? Pray that the Lord watches over us mentally. Because I'm gonna develop they're gonna give me some kind of heart problem this year. I don't know what. They're gonna give me something. I'm gonna have something. They hate me.
So
that's the last thing I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Talking about the 1 seed thing. You know my favorite playoff week is?
What's that?
Wild card weekend when your team not playing. When you got the wild card weekend, that's the best weekend in football. That's the best playoff weekend, man.
Listen, sports are much more fun when it's not your team involved. When you can just sit for the love of whatever you're watching and enjoy it. And you are absolutely right. When you can sit at the crib and you can just put your feet up, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna throw one of these games on Amazon Prime soon enough.
Right.
And you begrudgingly get on Prime because I hate streaming football games but you get on Prime and you're watching Al Michaels listlessly and with the most boring tone ever call a game. Al Michaels, let me stop. I could talk about Al. Anyway, much respect to Al. He's a legend. But yeah, that's the greatest time of the year when your team is got the week off. They can rest up, get their bodies right, get their minds right. Prepare for whoever. Man, and y'all got it. Y'all got it for the second year in a row. It's all y'all, man.
We hope.
Man, keep it together. Short of a collapse, y'all schedule post. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be favored in all these games. Seattle stinks. I hate Seattle too. Speaking of teams that I hate Seattle.
Understood.
With an absolute passion. I got in the group chat and I said, "Hey, Gino, we wrote back. We said you're trash." Like I don't get on Twitter and really go crazy like that. You know what I'm saying? I try to be low key online, but in the group chat, I went crazy.
Nah, I respect it.
But yeah, man, like, y'all schedule. I mean, you get the Giants twice.
Finally, we finally get our Giants game. So
let me say this about Giants fans. I am so glad that they're winning football games.
Yeah.
Because there are a couple of Giants fans that I followed that to me were a little bit obnoxious about Caleb Williams and some other teams.
Yeah.
They were just gloating a little bit too much at other teams' failures. And so to see them lose by winning made me so happy.
Giants fan, but to hop my mentions during the Chiefs game. Like, I know that ain't who I think it is. I know good and well that ain't what I think it is in my mentions about a Chiefs game. I know you're not. I know you're not doing this right now.
Listen, don't talk about who beat me till you beat me.
Facts.
The great philosopher Tay Rock said, poet laureate of the United States. But but y'all schedule down the stretch, man. It's again, if y'all lose to the Giants at all, the Cardinals,
we deserve less. We deserve less at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, you deserve a 2 seed at that point.
Honestly, I'm just going to take that. Yeah, you go earn it. You blew it. Yeah. But yeah.
What Shannon Sharp say? You do that all you want. You lost that game.
Yes. Right. So yeah, man. A1, thank you, man. Plug your content. Y'all make sure you follow them.
Yeah, man. Check us out. You can follow me at either at A1 the LP. That's all letters. So if you just go A1T Help, or you can follow the podcast page at Brains and Bars on Facebook, Twitter. You can search for the show. It's a black and white thing. I do it with my homie A Ward. We're supposed to record tomorrow. We are the most sporadic podcasters of all time because we would go 6 months without doing a show and then just pop up for like 2 months and then we'll go away again for another sabbatical. But we're supposed to record tomorrow. You can check us out on YouTube by searching at Brains and Bars there as well. Yeah, man. And I appreciate you having me on, man. It's always a good time. when I'm able to holler at you, whether it's, I'm mainly on Twitter. We see each other a couple of events here and there or here on the podcast. So I appreciate you, man.
Always, man. Good talk to you. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Y'all have a
yes,
good one.
sir.
Thanks for listening.